Okay, page 51. Okay, in this life, we met with the teaching on Bodhicaryavatara wisdom and emptiness. We met with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who emphasizes so much on the practice of Bodhicaryavatara and wisdom and emptiness to study, reflect, and meditate on these two things. We are very fortunate. Then what about next lives? For the next lives, we should be connected with this teaching. And of the 7 billion human beings, imagine how many people they have to die without even having heard the word Bodhicaryavatara, without even having heard the wisdom of emptiness. And for us, we are so fortunate. But in next life, how can we guarantee that same thing will happen to us? So, out of the 7 billion human beings, no doubt 6.99 billion human beings, they do not get opportunity even to hear the word Bodhicaryavatara, let alone practicing them. So this could be very dangerous for us also. It may be the same for us in the next life. To make sure that we are connected with the teaching, for that matter, we have to include a very powerful prayer that we be connected with this teaching, number one. Then, after having connected with this, then our job is to make sure that we rigorously engage in this practice. Otherwise, simply by having connection and then not practicing it, then the connection will be terminated eventually. So for that matter, two things are required. One is to include a very powerful prayer that in the future lifetimes will be connected with this teaching and the practice, and then that we are able, to rigorously engage in these two practices. We include the prayers to invoke the feeling of joy over the practice of Bodhicaryavatara and wisdom and emptiness. Okay, 51. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true practice of Bodhicaryavatara even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true practice of Bodhicaryavatara even in the course of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true practice of Bodhicaryavatara even in the course of my life. In order to further increase this Bodhicaryavatara from now on, those with discernment who have loosely seized and awakened the mind in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has gone through. Having well obtained this human existence, I have been born in the family of the Buddha, and now I'm one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be recorded by the family. Never shall I disgrace or pollute this noble and unsteady traits. Just like a blind person discovering a jewel in a heap of rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. It is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sorrow of death. It is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates all progress in the world. It is the supreme medicine that cures the world's disease. It is a tree that shelters all beings wandering entirely on a part of conditioned existence. It is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth. It is the dawning morn of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions. It is the great sun that finally removes the misty ignorance of the world. It is the conditioned utter from the journey of the Dharma. For all those guests traveling on the path of conditioned existence, who wish to experience an harvest of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and should place them in the supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite you all to be guests at a festival of temporary and ultimate delight. May God's demigods all be joyful. Okay, page 47. Now the compassion. The compassion is the ground of the Bodhicaryavatara. To make this compassion profound, the compassion has two sides. One is the subjective feeling of love, and the objective, the state of the suffering of the sentient beings. Two things. Feeling of love must be very intensely built, and then the object, the realization that the beings are suffering because of the three kinds of suffering. And particularly, to what extent your compassion is profound is determined by to what extent you see the suffering nature of sentient beings. If you see the suffering nature of sentient beings just on the first level, suffering, then the compassion may be very intense, but it's not at all profound. Whereas the compassion can be very profound only if you see how the beings are suffering, not only on the first level of suffering, but the third level, which is basic condition suffering, which is all because of the lack of the wisdom of emptiness. In other words, being constantly caused under the torments of the dream created by the self-grasping ignorance. Okay, so it is through the understanding of emptiness that we can imagine how the essential beings are suffering terribly. By being the dream dictates what to do. Dream dictates, and dream creates a very nasty person to you, you will fight with this person. The dream creates a very nice person with you, you will feel so happy with this. So you have no freedom. The dream dictates what to do. So this loss of freedom. And killing, stealing, all these things happen simply because as dictated by the dream, as projected by the self-grasping ignorance. Seeing this, then and you realizing that everything is like a dream, and why should I be affected by the dream? Only when you wake up, you realize that I cannot be affected by the dream. But in the dream, you are affected because you don't realize the dream to be a dream. So with this, out of great compassion towards sentient beings, at the end, then the Bodhisattva Shantideva include this prayer that may my marriage accumulation be strong enough that I'll be able to teach this, reveal this emptiness nature to all sentient beings so that I can wake them up from the sleep of ignorance. Okay, with this mind, let's read this. Page 47. Therefore, sentient beings resemble dreams. Upon analysis, they are like planting trees. Whether they are released or not from sorrow, in the ultimate sense, there is no distinction. What is there to gain and what is there to lose with things that are entered into existence in this way? Who is there to pay and respect and who is there to refuse? For what are pleasure and pain derive? What is there to be happy or unhappy about? When one searches for ultimate nature, who is there to crave? What is there to crave for? Upon analysis, this world of living beings is found to have no true existence. Therefore, who can die here? What is there to come and what is pain? Who are friends and who are relatives? Investigating reality, please recognize as I've done that all is just like space. Those who wish to be happy are greatly disturbed by causes of conflict, and overjoyed by the causes of pleasure. But not finding happiness, they suffer, and in order to find it, they exert themselves. They argue with others, cut and sell one another. With many wrong deeds, they live in a state of great hardship. Even repeatedly come to happy existences and experience much pleasure there, upon trying therefore for a long time into unbearable suffering lower realms. Within conditioned existence, the chasms of suffering are many, and the liberating comprehension of ultimate truth is rare. Furthermore, the apprehension of true existence and understanding of emptiness mutually contradict one another. Yet if one conditioned existence, one does not realize this ultimate truth, one will continue to experience the limitless portion of misery, unbearable and pure analogy. Likewise, though not having realized true knowledge of realized emptiness, a little strength and virtue, one's human life of pleasure and endowment is indeed very short. Also, one strives hard to live long and avoid illness. One is concerned with hunger, rest, and sleep. One is injured by others and keeps meaningless company with the childish. Therefore, this life swiftly passes with no meaning, and it's very hard to find the chance to investigate reality. In this day, where is there the means to reverse this brilliant habit of grasping into existence? Furthermore, devils exerting themselves to cast us into vast unfortunate realms. There are many mistaken paths. It is hard to resolve doubts about the perfect way. It will be hard to find the measure of human life again, and it's extremely difficult to find the presence of the Buddhas. It's hard to forsake this flight of afflictions, allows sentient beings to continue to suffer. Oh, indeed, it is worth feeling sorrow for those who drift in the river of pain, who, although they experience great misery, are unaware of the suffering they go through. For example, some ascetics wash themselves again and again, and after repeating enter fire, but they thereby suffer greatly, they assume themselves as being happy. Similarly, those who mistake their suffering for joy and live as though there were no aging or death are first of all killed by the law of death, and then experience the unbearable misery of falling to the lower realms. When shall I be able to extinguish the pains of those tormented by the fires of suffering, with the rain of accumulated happiness that is sprung from the clouds of my merits? And by having the manner of not objectifying to existence, intensely will I gather an accumulation of merit. When will I be able to reveal emptiness to those who are wretched and sad by the view of true existence?
Okay.